Okay, this is fundamentals, the foundations of Anusara, which doesn't necessarily mean it's a beginner class. It's how do we go back to the principles of alignment that inform this really beautiful style and lineage of practice. And one of the things that I fell in love with many, many years ago, in like, I think it was 1997, was Anusara's ability to thread in and really give meaning to the practice of yoga beyond the physical. So as we tap in, we get to realize that in the yoga tradition, there are 7 main sages, and there are poses named after each of them. And the one that we'll chat about briefly is Marichi. So as one of the great contributors to the lineage of the yoga tradition as a whole, Marichi, his name translates to ray of light. And he was a deep seeker of wisdom and clarity, and that was his big focus. So as we open up to what it means to step into the flow of life, so this class title is Embrace the Flow. Marichi's ray of light is something that stands and holds true within each of us. I think those of us that are drawn to the Anusara yoga practice are deep seekers of, we like the intellectual side of the practice. We like to learn a little bit more than just how to line up a downward dog, which has got beautiful merit and will teach you so much about yourself. So as we step into and embrace what it means to be the seeker of wisdom and clarity, to open up to the ray of light that can stream through us as us, there's so much to know. And when you take on the principles of Anusara Yoga, the first one we cover each week in this class, we go through 1 or 2 of the principles of alignment. So as seekers of light, open to grace is the first principle of alignment. The confusing thing about each of these principles is they each have 3 ways that we can engage them. So there's 5 main principles of alignment. And if we look at the 5, and then we add the 3 ways to engage them, we've all of a sudden got 15. And then you add in the refinement principles of loops, and there are 7 of those. So now we're up to 22 ways that you can line up with the light that streams through you. So open to grace, and then muscular energy. And there's 3 ways to engage muscular energy. We'll break them down as we go along, not all today. And then inner spiral, outer spiral, which are refinement principles to the muscular energy. And then the 5th principle, organic energy. So there's 2 main currents that stream through our being, through our body. Muscular, the grounding current. How do we live in the here and now? And that's something that the sages figured out a long, long time ago, that the practice is not just about trying to ascend and get out of this place. It is about living in the here and now. And so as we hug the muscles to the bone, or we draw to the midline, or we pull in from periphery to core, those are the 3 ways we engage muscular energy. As we land in our physical body and embrace it, then we have something we can give back out. And so that liberating current that coordinates with the grounding, manifesting current, they interplay, those 2 currents, and they create what's called Spanda. And as we embrace that flow, that energy that hugs us in so that we can contain more light and that energy that expands us back out so that we can offer more light into the experience of whatever it is we're doing. So that's today's practice. And I'll invite you to close your eyes and rest on the mat as if you were sitting at the feet of the great sage Marichi. So place yourself well. The practice of yoga has forever and all time been passed down from sage to recipient. From teacher to student. And reach your arms out and up. And you might just take a high V instead of going all the way up. Just let the arms go nice and wide. And think of your being, your physical body as the vase in which you would rest a beautiful bouquet of flowers that yearn to do nothing but their dharma, which is to open to the light. So as you breathe and let the part of you that touches the earth get even more grounded. Notice how you're having to create some connection to the muscles that hold your arms upright. And if you bend them slightly, you bend your elbows slightly, you can feel your shoulder blades a little more. And if you feel your shoulder blades drawing in towards that ray of light called your spine, pull the shoulder blades in and pull the shoulder blades down. And let everything start to nestle down into the base of your pelvis. And we'll pull your hands right up and down into the heart center. We'll always come back to the open to grace moment. So in this moment, you'll just perceive the light behind your closed eyes. Let your breath illuminate and expand your inner body to your outer body. And into that expansion, you can gently press your palms together and feel the muscles of your arms tone to the bone. Feel where your bottom foot is on your mat and how it makes contact and connection to the leg that may be resting on top. So there's one part of a foot that's touching another part of a leg. And just feel the earth. Feel your seat, feel your legs, feel all the parts that root you down. Take a nice, long, slow breath out. And open to the flow of breath yet again. Invite a deeper breath in. And a nice, long, slow breath out. Allow your breath to be the wise one that reveals to you expansion and contraction right inside your very being, your body. And we'll take the sound of Om 3 times. Hear your own voice, feel your own expansion as you breathe in and then the contraction as you offer the Om. So you'll find your own rhythm. I'll invite you to inhale when you're ready. Exhale when you're ready. Draw a breath in for your Om. We use the centering practice to become more sensitive to the energies that flow through us, to step into the currents of the flow, so that the practice that follows can be informed by what a gift it is to be in the body. And to that gift we bow. And we'll slowly release the hands and open your eyes. All right, I'm going to start in a lunge with your left foot forward and 2 blocks at the head of your sticky mat. So left foot forward, hands on high blocks. And just pause and feel the feet, deepen the breath. And as you push down more through the bottom end of your back foot and the heel of your front foot, just feel what happens to the muscles of your legs. And from there, we'll engage the second way. So hug the muscles to the bone. When you push your feet down, it'll squeeze the muscles in. Now pull the front leg towards straight from foot to hip, from periphery to core. And as you do that, bend the back knee. And we'll pause here and breathe. So we've collected all the energies that we can up from the feet into the pelvis. And now from your pelvis, push back down through the bones. So against the muscle contraction, hugging you into who you are, shine the light out from your hip, push more through that back heel and inner ankle as you slide the energy from your front sit bone to the knee to the foot. And then we'll play that little pulsation game and add in breath to movement. So it's very simple, it's very sweet. It's not you trying to dominate or control. It's about embracing how breath and movement are greatly aided by muscular energy that pulls into the core of the hip and organic energy that shines back out from the hip to the feet and also up through the spine. So your arms participate as well. So if you push down through your hands, you'll feel the muscles contract to your bones. You can use the muscles of extension and press even more from the heart through the arm bones. And that will help to engage your core muscles. So there's just so many ways to become more present. And we'll step forward as you're ready. And left foot back. And then just take a moment and just settle in and say, what can I learn from this side? How is this side equal to the brilliance of the other, but also different? Bend the back knee slightly. A bent knee will always help you become more aware of how to engage the muscle to the bone. So we want to create a hug in before we shine out. And then as you pull the front leg from foot to hip, up, up, up into the pelvis, go ahead and bend the back knee. And just give yourself a moment to breathe and receive. And now, hi Lucas. And from your hip. Now, as you bend the front knee, drag that front heel backwards. So you're creating tension in the bottom of the hamstring. As you extend from the hip to the knee, pull your foot back. There you go. And as you bend the back knee, push the knee forward instead of just trying to bend it. Try to pull it towards your front ankle. And then find that it's like your old-fashioned taffy machine, where you've got one part pulling in and one part expanding out, one part pulling in and one part expanding out. So we're stepping into the wisdom of how every cell in your body pulses. Now step forward and enjoy a forward fold at your pace. If it means blocks, underhands, great. If it doesn't, great. And find that leg pulsation here. So a bend and an extension. And it's just a really sweet practice. So opening to the ray of light. And now take one of your blocks and place it between your upper inner thighs. Hands to your hips. Squeezing the blocks. Pull the heart forward until you find curve in the lumbar spine. Now anchor the tailbone to rise up. Give that block a gentle squeeze. So we're hugging the midline between the two legs. Bend your knees and squeeze now your ankle bones towards that midline. So it needs to start further down, but it's just easier to put the block up high. And now as you push your hands down into your hips, imagine you could pull both feet off the floor at the same time. Imagine. What if you could? And just see if you can pull both feet off the floor at the same time. And as you squeeze that block, you're going to pull up, 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 up from the feet to the knees, from the knees to the hips, and all the way up through that central channel of you. Deep breath in, arms high. Exhale down the midline, hands to heart. Inhale, reach out, rise up. And exhale. So a pulsation practice is a beautiful way to sweetly and kindly bring your nervous system into resonance. And now we'll bow forward, bend the knees, squeeze the block, fingertips down to the earth, keeping the knees as bent as you need to find the fingertips all the way down. Deep breath in, full breath out. Place your right hand to your right thigh. Push down with your hand. Squeeze your shoulder blade muscle. Take that left elbow outside the knee. Now push the elbow into the knee and let the bottom hand hold the top hand, left hand hold right. So we're now in a twisted chair pose. Deep breath in, long breath out. Pushing down from hips to feet, inhale, unwind and reach up. Hands down the center line, bend the knees as you fold. Keeping the knees bent, fingers down on the earth. Squeeze the ankles in, squeeze the block. Left hand, left thigh. Press it down. And use that compression to create space in the upper body. So lift up and out of your hips. That's organic energy. Placing elbow to knee, pause, and feel the knee push back. When the knee pushes back to the elbow, release hands and hold bottom hand to top hand, and then a little twist, holding the energy inside your legs. Turn around the ray of light of your spine. And with inhale, push down through the legs and rise up. Hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in half. Side body's long. Lengthen. Plant your hands. I'm not instructing hand placement today, so you take care of yourself. Spread your fingers, line up your wrists. Plank pose. Hug the block. Deep breath in. Using the muscles of extension, push the floor away from your shoulder blades to your hands and use that to help tone the core. Lifting the pit of your throat. Now bend the knees slightly as you squeeze that block a little more. From your pelvis now, lengthen through the heel bones, the belly, the heart, and the crown. Use all of that strength. So muscular energy combines with organic energy to make us even stronger. Now, as you bend the elbows, muscles hug to bone, keep the shoulders lifting, push through your heels, and then cobra. Point your toes, squeeze the block. Squeeze the block, lower the heart, tuck the toes, and chaturanga to plank, downward dog. 5 good breaths. And honoring the wisdom of breath, we take 5 counts to lower the knees. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Remove your block. Step the left foot forward. Low lunge, back knee on the floor. If you need to pat it, use your blanket. Kickstand your right foot back behind you. And come up with left hand on the block, right hand on your hip. The block's inside your front ankle. There you go. Jen, switch hands. Thank you. Okay, now pull the front heel down and back and the back knee in and towards the front foot. Hold that energy. Spread and lift the toes of your front foot. Good. Now find the midline between your elbow and your front knee. Good. As you maintain that connection, that midline energy, turn above the navel and open the heart from left to right. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Inhale, unwind. Come back to your regular low lunge. Take your block outside your front ankle and hands to your knee. So like you did in your chair pose twist, you're going to push down through the legs to engage the muscle to the bone. Push down through your hand, your left hand, and now rise up into that desire to find clarity. So lift, lift, lift. Take that right elbow around and to the outer knee. Look to your block and see, does it need to go wider so that your hand can come down? Some of you will be able to go right narrow, that's fine. But you want to be able to push your knee back into your arm, that's very important. Eyes towards your front toes. Left hand to your hip. Keep pressing that knee into your arm into your knee, and start to turn from right to left. Now, add in breath and receive the flow, the pulsation. Tuck the back toes, and if you'd like to join me here, pull in, press that back knee forward, even as you lift the inner knee up and away from the floor. Squeeze the legs in, pull that left hip further towards the back of the mat, and now stretch your spine out of your hips. Left arm up and along your ear. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, downward dog. 5 good breaths. One sweet long breath into plank. Hold your midline, feet together, knees together. Squeeze the wrist towards the midline. Bending the back knees. Use the muscle of extension and push the floor away until your waistline lifts. Hold that power, heart forward. As you press from hips to heels, pull the heart forward, elbows lift. Curl up cobra. Bow forward, tuck your toes. Squeeze the midline for chaturanga. Muscles of extension for plank and downward dog. 5 good breaths. And count of 5, inhale the knees down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. As teacher, I will teach with a blanket. If you don't use a blanket for your seated poses, either try it today or let it go. One of the ways I teach using a blanket is to find how you can sit the blanket on a diagonal so that the corner edge of the blanket comes underneath your pubic bone. So it's on an angle. That way, when you sit, you've got a nice triangle here, broad through the sit bones, and then enough space for when you open the legs or do something with your legs, you're still supported. Go ahead and bend your knees, feet on the floor. Elbows to inner knees, hands to shins or ankles. Hold the shins, push down through your feet. Fall in love with your breath and gently start to pull the knees towards your elbows, pressing down more through the feet. Organic energy. Push the pelvis downward, but lift up through the spine and your crown. On your exhale, tone the core muscles. Tone your pelvic floor muscles. Liberate the hands. Deep breath in. Big breath out. This takes quite a bit of power to sit up like this. So just feel how you can soften into your power, your sage-like wisdom. And release. Now extend left leg straight out. Take 2 fist widths between your bent knee foot and your inner knee. Hold the bent knee. And now pull everything in, especially the straight leg from your foot to your hip. Make it shorter so that when you press your bent knee into your hands, you feel like you've got a full circuit of energy, one that's pulling in and one that's pressing out from the foot to the hip, from the hip to the foot. And then from there, you'll sit up taller, widen the elbows so your shoulder blades can draw in. When the shoulder blades draw in, your collarbones can widen, allow that. Now place your right hand behind you, either on the floor or a block. Hold the knee and sit up tall. Look to your front foot. Press the heel down. Spread your toes. These are all cues to say engage your muscles. Yeah. Now pushing down through all the parts that touch the earth. Rise up and lift left arm. Get really tall. Remembering how you made space for your twist. Push down through the hips and stay long in the spine as you twist elbow to knee. Press knee to elbow and then elbow to knee. Anchor that right hip forward and down. Muscular energy pulls up through the straight leg Organic energy reaches the bent hip down and forward. Rise up. Now, place that left forearm level to the floor. Imagine you could, and you can, widen your elbows in opposite direction. So pressing knee to elbow and hand energetically down, the muscles will tone. Now widen the elbows through the collarbones and twist more up into the upper back. Stabilize below the navel. Press the outer hip down and twist above the navel. With the elbow to the knee, you can widen like that vase of flowers. It's more narrow at the hips and expanding up through the heart. With inhale, come back to center. Bend your knees. We'll find that midline. Turn the gaze downward, eyes downward, and draw the breath, energy of the breath down into your body as you inhale. With the exhalation, bring the gaze to neutral. Liberate your hands and just notice how the feet have to push, the knees have to hug, and your lips can curl up in lip loop. Now we'll extend right leg. If you got my joke, you're a long time on a Sara yogi. Lip loop. It's called a smile. Place 2 fists between. I'm teaching this for a particular reason. We can go more narrow and we will. Squeeze it in. So ankle towards fists, knee towards fists. Pull from foot to hip. Maintain that as you press from hip forward and down, knee to hands. And then finally, after addressing the legs, we get to lift up even more through the heart. Left hand behind you. Reach up. Pull the straight leg in, press the bent leg forward and down as you twist. Hook elbow to knee, and then knee pushes to elbow. Take that bent arm and press it down. And now widen the elbows in opposite direction against the stability of that left hip rooting forward and down. Lift up into your breath. And flowing with wisdom, we turn around the spine from right to left. Couple more breaths. Using the inhale to come out of the twist, keep the light, keep the expansion, and come out. Beautiful. Namaste. Thank you.